I've got Kira here from Zestful Design, excuse me. So Kira, why don't you tell me about yourself and your company?
Yeah, my name is Kira Vanderlyn, and my company is called Zestful Design, and I am a professional home organizer, interior designer, and stager.
Okay.
Yeah.
That sounds like a lot of work.
Yes, but I love it. I love it. I love what I do. Yeah.
How'd you get started?
Well, I started decades ago doing this on the side with friends and family. But I just have a natural knack for keeping things in their place. I'm probably one of the few who can say I really love decluttering. And I've always been into interior design. And so doing it on the side. And then one day, several years ago, a business coach called me up and said, hey, why don't you turn this into a company? And I'm like, no, scary, but okay. So yeah, I did. And I think having that background, doing it on the side first helped me really form the business and shape it into something a little more unique for people, where I do combine the organizing and the design, because I really feel like you can't do one without the other.
Yep.
And so if you're going to go in and redesign a home, we got to probably declutter and let go of things. And then at the same time, if we're decluttering, most people want to design. So yeah, so I really started the company with the mission of helping transform spaces, both residential and commercial. But what I ended up finding over time was that transformation in your surroundings was actually doing more for you internally, for your mental health, your physical health, your well-being. And that's actually where the name Zestful came from.
Okay.
Because I started with clients who were, anxious, depressed, shamed, whatever, or stressed, super stressed, especially when they're moving. And then by the end, eventually, you get to Zestful. So,
Okay.
yeah.
So do you only work with clients that are potentially putting their home on the market, or just anywhere I just need a refresh, kind of redo?
Oh, yeah, across the board.
All of it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Buyers, sellers, just staying in their home, and also work in offices too. So.
Okay. Yeah, you said commercial. So what does that look like?
I've remodeled, redesigned small businesses, just reimagined them. Yeah.
Like a better flow and that kind of thing?
Yep.
Okay.
I can do space planning, space design. I've helped them when they've moved into their brand new space, just, start from scratch. Here's our business colors. Here's our logo. Come up with something. So.
Oh, I bet that is fun.
Oh yeah. I love that. Commercial ones are fun because you can be a little more creative and a little more outside the box.
Certainly.
Yeah.
And I definitely agree with you. The Zestful end piece. I know even this past weekend, my spice cabinet has been driving me up the wall.
Yes.
Because they all, we bought the condo, we got these makeshift, okay, we'll get these little like stair things to put in the cabinet, and they all just fall out every time I open it. So I still am not 100% happy with where I ended up this weekend, but it's better. But
yes,
I get it. It feels better. It all got cleaned out. It, organized, at least for now, until I go to cook again.
Yeah.
But I definitely understand that. It's a peaceful feeling once it's all done.
It's remarkable. Even something as simple as a spice rack, a junk drawer. I helped a woman just reorganize her junk drawer, and the transformation just from that. She's like, I've been meaning to do this for years, and it was just wonderful. And so,
closets, I bet, are another big pain point.
Wow, closets. yes, but it's worth the time.
Okay,
it's worth the investment. It's.
Do you find a lot of pushback with the pitch part of decluttering?
Yes and no. Okay. Initially, of course, it's very hard. So my method is to start easy and work your way up to the hard stuff. So literally start with like trash and work your way up to sentimental. So that helps.
Okay.
And I think as you start flexing that muscle, the easier it becomes. And so as you move throughout the process, at some point there becomes this point where just people are like, whatever, let it go. I don't care. So I'm done. So, and that's my favorite part.
Yeah.
I'm like, I did it.
I win.
So
too funny.
yeah.
So would you say you work more with clients in their homes, or do you have a big clientele of real estate agents?
Because I love staging and helping people move and getting them from, their place they've lived in for decades or years and getting them into new space. That's where I've put a lot of my focus, mostly selfishly. I just absolutely love doing that. And in particular, I like helping take on the clients that are a little more challenging for real estate agents, particularly those who have lived in their home for decades, seniors, downsizing, people who've lost loved ones, people who've got lots of clutter, overwhelmed, stuck by their clutter, don't know where to start. I've helped divorces, all sorts of things. So I think when you're moving, obviously that's one of life's most stressful events, but usually you're moving because of another life event.
Right.
And so having someone there to help stand alongside to get you through all of this, I think is really beneficial. So, and I love it. I love helping people.
Oh, that's so beautiful. Is there a room that is worse than others for people that they're like, I can't do this?
I would say if people have clutter, they're just stuck in general. Okay. So it doesn't matter the room. They're just kind of paralyzed. They see it and they're like, I just don't know where to start. Okay. So, yeah.
Do you have if I'm going to start on my own with no help, what's your first tip?
Well, it's probably best to kind of go with the area that bothers you the most. Oh, sure. That tends to be one of my first pieces of advice. Otherwise, if not that, just start with just one room and just focus entirely on that room to get it to where you want to be. And so that will help spur you on to do the rest, because you will have one space where you're just like, this is beautiful. Yeah.
I always want to be in this room.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yep.
Okay. So what is the biggest misconception people have about declutter or home staging or, any of the things that you do?
Well, I think in terms of misconception about decluttering is that the stuff is going directly to a landfill. And that is what I try to avoid. And so people have a hard time calling professional home organizers to help them declutter because they don't want to see their valuable possessions going into trash.
Yeah.
And so my goal when I work with clients is to find good homes for them. So I will donate, I will recycle, upcycle, I could sell stuff for people. I will do whatever I can to keep it out of a landfill.
That is unique. I like that.
Yeah. Yeah. And the other thing I'll do is, and it also really does help people when they're letting go of stuff, knowing where it goes. So if they know that, these set of games went to, we donated to this, toy place. They feel better about letting go of their items when they know where it's going to. So for clients, I have kept records of, this went there and that went there. And that really helps them to let go.
Oh, wow. That is very unique. I like that.
Yeah. And then a big misconception about staging, I would say for sure is just that staging is just taking down personal photos and decluttering or tidying up a bit. I think that, and also bit of a misconception is that you really only just need to do the living room and the kitchen and the primary bedroom. But I think that if you're going to stage and you're going to sell your home for, top dollar, you want to touch on the entire home. Everything.
Yeah. Okay. Not just the main rooms.
Yeah.
I would say the same.
Yeah.
I mean, somebody looking seriously to buy your home is going to look in the dark corners because they are thinking these are going to be my dark corners.
You've got that right. Yes.
That makes a lot of sense.
And I tell people when I go in, I'm like, just know that there's a chance that the people coming through your home are going to open your drawers, they're going to open your cabinets, they're going to open every closet. So what do you want them to see behind those closed doors? And so making sure they're aware that that's a potential. And it's interesting how many people are surprised by that. Like, they're going to do that?
Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah.
I know as a buyer, when I was a buyer, I felt odd opening other people's cabinets.
Yep.
But again, if I'm serious about this home, I want to, how deep is the closet? How far does it go? The cabinets, what are can I move the shelves? Can I not? All of those kinds of things. So I'm not judging the person and their belongings, but I do need to see it.
Yeah.
And if it's stuffed, full of stuff, I mean, that kind of gives off a bad vibe. So it might not fit my stuff. Right?
Yeah, and you'll like question how well was the home kept up if they're just shoving stuff in.
That's another great idea.
Yeah. They can't envision themselves living there because all they're seeing is your wall of things.
Yeah.
And if it's messy, if it's seeing like those really personal items, that's not what the buyer wants to see.
Right.
So,
yeah. No, that's great tips for both clients and real estate professionals.
Yes.
So would you say that's probably the first thing that a realtor or any real estate agent should inform their client?
Yes. There's so many firsts.
That's a good one.
That's a good first.
Yeah. So do you have some top decluttering tips for preparing your home for sale?
Yes. Well, in terms of decluttering, as a stager, I really believe that about 90% of staging is the decluttering part. It's just super critical for when you are selling your home. And I come from a unique perspective because I'm seeing the clutter in terms of a home organizer and how can we let go of that clutter? Where can it go? How can we donate, recycle, all of that? But at the same time, the importance of even looking in things like your storage rooms, your pantries, and how letting go of that clutter also really helps with the staging and helps buyers be able to envision themselves in the house or even dream. So for example, if you declutter your storage area and you replace it with well-organized bins, labeled or something symmetrical, just very open and organized, then they start picturing like, oh my gosh, I could organize like that. I could have a storage room like that. So that just starts churning things in their mind, and they start what then that creates is a memory for them to take home with them. So same if you do, you declutter and organize a pantry, especially walk-in pantries. If you do it, well organized, very staged, and decluttered, again, you're going to leave behind a memory for that client to take with them.
Oh, so. I really like the way you put that. That would make me remember that home. Like that's the closet that I want, or that's the pantry.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah, no, that's brilliant. It's kind of similar. I have this weird fascination, I guess. It's not really weird. I have a fascination with certain channels on like Instagram or TikTok of people who like restock in these cute little organized bins in their fridges. And I just think, oh my God, that is so pretty when it's all done. I mean, I would never take the time to do that because I feel like that's a lot of time spent putting all of the things in all the little jars and, but it does look amazing when it's done.
Yep. Yeah. And like I went back to like, it really feels amazing too when you do that and you open your door and you see that every day. You're like, oh, this is wonderful. Yeah. I think organized pantries is one of the top searched on in Pinterest and people love it. Yeah. Yeah. So
organized pantries that kind of with my spice cabinet. Right?
There you go.
Yeah, that thing is just, I might need advice for that.
Happy to help.
So what are, besides the organized, different, like the storage, and are there some other key tips for staging for getting prepared for buyers? So I guess the key elements when you're staging are that the people that are going to buy it want to envision themselves living there. So you want to eliminate as many reminders as possible that you are still living there. So we want to create an open, bright, welcoming space, which means, probably less furniture, that includes paint colors, what you choose for bedding, removing curtains, all sorts of things. So I think a lot of
you want to be as thorough as possible. Like I said, go beyond just the kitchen, living, primary spaces. When I think about when I'm looking at homes, like on Zillow or something, and you're scrolling through the homes and you're like, the first several photos are great, gorgeous, gorgeous. And then you keep going and you get to like the storage room and you get to the pantries and you get to the garages and you're like, oh, what? Yeah. So thoroughness is really important when you are getting a home ready.
Okay. Yep. Almost as if the end pictures are a different property.
Exactly.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Yes, totally.
So there's no one room that's more important than another. They're all equally as important for staging, decluttering.
Yeah. Yes.
What about some cost-effective techniques?
Yes. So there are many ways to save when you are staging. Yeah. But I will say, though, that your return on investment for whatever you put into staging, the return on investment is up to 500%. And you generally will get, on average, 20% more in your sales price when you stage. And it's on the market 90 days less than most homes. So the return on investment for anything you put into the staging, you will definitely get back. But in terms of owner occupied staging to save money, some things that you could do that of course paint goes farther than you can imagine, but you can buy paint at like places like Habitat for Humanity. There's other places to purchase it other than the big box stores that could cost less. Also, I recommend if you need to use your older furniture that you go out and get a slip cover. That helps refresh it. I love bed in a bag for your bedding. So that comes with the shams and throw pillows and all that. That's they're pretty good price point. A fun discovery I've made over the last couple of years are unclaimed freight stores. And they've got bedding, they've got everything you need for staging your home. So
where do you find one of those?
Facebook.
Oh, okay.
You can look it up. I know one is just called Unclaimed Freight. Okay. I'm not remembering the other names of them right now, but yeah.
Well, that's a tip right there.
Yes. And you can find gems in thrift stores and yard sales too. So
one thing that I know, because we've talked before, that comes to mind with just tips from, or things that should be talked about. We've talked about some of the rooms, the importance of all the rooms versus, just main rooms.
Yeah.
And how it makes you feel. But there's a safety element to staging and decluttering and all of that. You want to talk about that?
Yeah. It's true. You are going to open your home up to people you don't know, strangers. And yes, they will be coming into your home with a real estate agent, but you don't know who they are. And like I tell my clients, they're going to open everything up. And so what do you want them to see? So I mentioned that some of the top stolen items when people come through your home are definitely number one is medicines. So hide your medications. I say vitamins as well. Hide those. Of course, jewelry, cash, weapons, and then also power tools. But smaller hand ones, slip under a jacket. So those are some of the top ones. The other thing is if like in your storage area, you have a box that's labeled taxes, that one I have people hide or turn around or something, because that's very easy to just take a slip of paper out with your social security number on it. So I just want to protect my clients, make sure they're fully aware. Thankfully, I've never had an issue. None of my clients have, but I think that awareness, because many people haven't sold in years, decades, and so they don't know that these are possibilities. But it's better to be aware and safe. So, yeah. Yeah.
So when you're working with real estate agents, what is your like number one thing you talk about with them?
In terms of decluttering?
Just anything. What's your first go-to?
It's usually how their clients are doing emotionally, how stressed they are, how overwhelmed they are, and how we can help them together. What do your clients need to get through this time? What are the pain points that are causing them to be stuck or not move forward? Or even I have to say, hey, we need another week or two. This is just too much, too overwhelming. So it's usually more, for me, the emotional piece of it, that's where I really care about them. So, and I just want to help them in any way possible.
Awesome. So. Where do people find you?
I am, my company's based in Maple Grove, but I work all over the Twin Cities. Okay. My website's zestfuldesign.com, Instagram, Facebook, call me, text me, email. Yeah.
Do you do like before and after pictures?
Oh, yes. I do. Although I will admit I'm pretty bad at remembering one or the other. Yeah. So
you have pictures nonetheless.
I do have some. Yes. I try to write on my hand. Photos. Take a picture. Yes. Yeah. And reels. Those aren't a strength of mine. So,
no.
Yeah. Sorry.
It's all right.
Sorry.
That's all right. I just know a good before and after. That's
yeah.
It gives a similar, oh wow, kind of feel good feeling. Yeah. To see it.
Yeah.
Is there anything else that you want to make sure that we are talking about today? And what you do or reminders for people?
Let's see. I guess the biggest thing is just definitely the importance of decluttering.
Yeah.
And it can be it's impactful on the sale, makes the home just shine better, but it also really helps your client because they're moving, having them let go of stuff, lifting that burden off their shoulders is really important. But also packing it up too. And as much as you can do in advance makes it easier in the end. Less is more always, and the more you can eliminate, the better. But I think overall, it really, really helps to have an expert on hand to handle this stuff for your clients. Getting someone in there who, like myself, who is a professional organizer or a stager who does the work with the client is important, because I can't tell you how many times I'm hearing agents say, oh, I spent 8 hours with my client all day on a Saturday decluttering their home. And I'm thinking, well, that's 8 hours you could be out there prospecting for new clients.
Yeah.
Leave it to the experts to be able to handle that for you.
Yeah.
And also, I can't overstress enough the importance of having a professional stager come in and do the consultation, do a walkthrough with your client. Whatever the fee is that the person charges, I think it's worth that investment by the agent to give that to your client. But it does tend to leave them a little more overwhelmed, but having that guide and that roadmap to how to make the house better is very important.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I just had one last question. Because you yourself, not every stager may do this, but you yourself find new homes for some of the things that are being let go.
Yep.
Are there any particular partners that you work with that you may donate them to?
Well, one of the top is, of course, Bridging, which they help people move into their first homes. So they take any gently used home goods. So for clothes, I really like to go to like Dress for Success. Those are wonderful. Also, a lot of schools have places to donate clothes and of course, pantries, food pantries at the schools as well. Habitat for Humanity is wonderful for tools, sports equipment. They take a variety of things. I have actually, if anyone listening wants to reach out, I do have a detailed list of my partners that I work with for donations.
Do you have that available on your website?
No, I have to send it to you.
Okay. No, that's good to know.
Yeah.
So contact you if I'm curious about. So, okay. So one more question then for you.
Yeah.
Because we know that virtual staging exists. Why is it, in your opinion, more important to work with a person to do physical staging of the home versus rely on virtual staging?
I think virtual staging it's a cool concept, but as we all know, as soon as they see it and then walk through the door, that won't be there. So no matter how many disclaimers you put on the listing, they still have to walk through the door. And many people cannot visualize themselves in a space that's empty. Having a couch there helps them. Having a bed there helps them. Even though we know it's not their bed, they still see the placement. They see the physical object. So it's of course, it's when you step into the room. So, yeah.
So it makes it easier to conceptualize if I'm buying a vacant home. Where my stuff might go. Okay.
Yes.
No, that's a good point. Excellent.
Yeah. Yeah. And along those same lines, I'd say, just you want to stage a home. Leaving it vacant, while very easy to do, is definitely not recommended. From there, you could do soft staging, which would be, just putting some photos, artwork on the walls, stuff on the countertops, that sort of thing. And then from there, obviously staging. In my opinion, if you are going to stage, I recommend all the rooms if you can. So
in that sort of concept, that kind of leads me to another question then. We talked about people that already live there with all of their stuff, but in the vacant setting, so do you bring in all that furniture?
Yes. So there's kind of two different types of stagers. There's the owner-occupied stager, and then there are the ones that do bring in all their furniture.
Okay.
So I am an owner-occupied stager.
Okay.
Yeah. So my business, while I'm decluttering, I'm also doing the staging at the same time. So, which is fun because as I'm going through their stuff, I'm finding all these gems that we can use, or I'm rearranging their furniture. And then from there, I supplement with all the stuff I own. So I've got all the accessories, bedding, throw pillows. I have some furniture, but not enough to fill a home. So when that's the case, then I refer it to to stagers who do vacant homes.
Okay. Yeah. So they bring in all the stuff for the listing. Okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Thanks for clarifying.
Yeah.
I did not know that.
And usually the people who do vacant staging, it needs to be vacant. They do not, if the owner's there, for the most part, no, because you don't want to live in their furniture, pets, that sort of thing. So it's kind of one or the other for the most part.
Right.
So
well, excellent.
Yeah.
Excellent. All right. Well, thank you so much.
Oh, did you want to ask about the presentations? Were you going to ask about that?
Yes. So I understand that you yourself go to brokerages and you have some presentations. So tell me about that and what you're working towards.
Yeah. Yes. I visit brokerages all the time and just talk about staging in general, with, of course, the emphasis more on the decluttering side, how you can help your clients through these tough times, ways to help them let go, keep them on track. And I can also tailor presentations so that you're not just hearing, same thing over and over. If your brokerages say, hey, I really want to just focus on how home organizing is a piece of this. Yeah. Let's just talk about that. I've done presentations where I talk about all types of staging. So like we were just talking about, what's, kind of soft staging, vacant, that sort of thing. So I've done that. So I love teaching. I love doing presentations. And I also do them for the county. I've done programs with the county related to recycling and downsizing. And I teach classes getting for home buyers how to prepare their homes to sell, do classes on downsizing at park and rec and that sort of thing. So
for the consumer.
Yep.
Awesome. The brokerage presentations, is there a length of time? Are they like 30 minutes? Are they an hour?
It's anywhere from like 15 to an hour.
Okay.
So usually whatever they
need.
Whatever they say,
Okay.
how much time I get.
All right.
Yeah.
And you said teaching. So are you looking at, in the world of real estate licensees, looking for continuing ed? Are you looking to do that? To get accredited courses?
I am. Yes, that's quite a process. So
it is. I know. We do that here.
Quite a process. But yes. I think based on what I see, I would like to see more discussion around the safety and security, not only for the homeowners, but for the stagers going in, and of course for the real estate agents. So I think that's one class I'd really like to create for everyone.
Yeah, that sounds like a good one. So definitely keep us posted when you've got that one.
For sure.
I will seek you out for that one. That one sounds good. Okay. I think that was everything. I think we covered all of our questions now.
Yeah, I was looking.
Awesome. Well, thank you. Thank you so much for coming in today.
Thank you.
This was great.
Yes, I loved it. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.